Hi, friends. Welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. My name is Ruel Gaviola. This is Tabletop Tonight, the AM edition. This is actually the July gaming wrap up. Where is my little thing? There it is. So I've been trying to do this once a month where I just look back at the games that I played. And this month I checked out my little BG Stats app on my phone, and it looks like I played 27 games. So definitely a good month of gaming. I want to shout out everyone that's here in chat. Thank you for joining me. This was totally unannounced. I basically blew it last night. I meant to send out the social media thing saying, hey, I'm going to be live tomorrow about 10 a.m. But that didn't happen. This is totally space. So here's what I did yesterday. I did a lot of gaming, live streaming last week. So like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday was just a ton of streaming. Wednesday, actually Tuesday as well. So Tuesday through Sunday, I streamed pretty much every day. Tuesday, I started with my friend Daryl. And then Wednesday, the debut of the R&R show with Rado, which was great. Thursday was a 4-hour charity stream for Gen Con TV. Michelle and I did that. Love that. We love, doing charity work. Because of the pandemic, we have not been able to do as much as we like to in real life. But we are very grateful for the opportunity to do it virtually. And then Friday was more streaming with Gen Con TV. We played Monstrosity. Then Saturday was the big day. Saturday was a stream that I had signed up for a while ago with Tabletop Rebellion. They asked me to be part of a panel on creating your brand, and I was very thankful for being a part of that. But I didn't realize how much streaming I would be doing that day. It's all good though. It worked out in the end. So that was Friday or Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Pacific till just about 11. Then I rushed over to TLN, which was still here in my home. But I did a live stream with Michelle at the opening ceremonies. A few hours later, we did our shift for TLN, and then we covered a late shift, which was crazy. So we actually went to a friend's birthday party and got to see our goddaughter, yay. And then at 4 a.m., I crashed out hard at like 10 p.m., 10:30 p.m., probably 11, actually, now I think about it. And then at 4 a.m., we're up and doing another stream. We did our Decathlon stream for the TLN Olympics. Finished that, slept a few more hours, and then did the closing ceremonies, which was a lot of fun. And that was it. That was my week. So yesterday I had to take the day off. I rested, relaxed yesterday, but it wasn't totally relaxing because I had to go to LAX. And if y'all know, if you're in Southern California, you know how what am I trying to say? You know how stressful that can be. I was going to say not unstressful, but, double negatives. So I had to go pick up Lauren. She was coming in from a flight that she was out of town for. So I said, yeah, I'll pick her up. I'll pick you up. And they just turned out to be one of the worst times to go to the LAX. But the good thing is, so I got, it was about almost a 2-hour drive from my home. We're about an hour east of Los Angeles, but with traffic and everything. And there was a couple of accidents. It took about 2 hours, but it timed out perfectly because once I got to the airport, I found my parking spot, and right when I parked, Lauren called me and said, hey, I just, my flight landed a little early and I am outside now at the terminal. I was like, perfect. And so I told her, hey, I'm going to go out, I'm going to leave the car and I'm going to start waiting for you. And I went out there and I'm looking for her and found her in like a minute, got in the car, drove out. And I'm usually used to paying $10 or more for parking at LAX. But I guess because I'd only been there a few minutes, it was free. So yay. And then Lauren and I we had dinner together, caught up a little bit. She talked about her trip. She had a great trip, but she's happy to be back home. And that was my day. So I was on the road a bunch of the day yesterday. So it wasn't totally relaxing, but the live stream, at least I got a day off from live stream, which, I love live streaming, but you do need to recharge those batteries, right? And I am rested and recharged for today's stream. And I'm so happy to see everyone here. Pentry Games is in the house. Panda Angel, James, Dutch Yoda, Stacy Everdell, Vault Hunter Argus, Ben Osteen. Hi, Ben. Thanks for joining us. I haven't seen you in a while. Deadpan is in the house. Thank you, Deadpan. And yeah, so y'all feel me for my pain with LAX. I appreciate that. Yeah, Lauren is doing well. Thank you so much. Stacy says the R&R show was awesome. I'm looking forward. Thank you, Stacy. We are actually going to be live tomorrow at noon Pacific on the Rahdo Runs Through channel. So that's Facebook, here on Twitch, and also YouTube. We had a lot of fun. I've been just so excited to be part of Rahdo's channel. It's been something that's been in the works for a while. We had been his manager had reached out to me early 2020. Gosh, yeah. So over a year and a half ago, probably, I want to say March or April of last year, reached out to me. We started talking. We were trying to find different ways to bring me onto the channel as a regular. And I think this is the best way to do it. I love talking to Richard about games. Y'all know him. He is just a wealth of knowledge. So I'm very grateful that I have the opportunity to talk to him and learn from him as well. Let's see. Let's look at the comments. I've already set my alarm. Nice. Thank you, Stacey Everdell. And hello, Dare Drinker. Good to see you, friend. And let me make sure I got all the things going here. I'm going to jump right into it, folks, because I've got 27 games to talk about today. These are the games that I played during the month of July. These aren't really reviews. I just want to go over them and talk about the experiences I had. I'm very fortunate because the stuff that I choose to live stream is 99% of the time, well, no, I shouldn't say that, 85% of the time, it's stuff that I know I'm going to like. So I've moved away from traditional reviews when I was reviewing for, either in print or podcast, where I'm doing stuff that I really like. I already know I'm going to like. Whereas back when I was reviewing, it was just okay, just send me whatever and I will, give my, honest opinion. But I already know that coming in, most of the games I get, I'm going to like, or they're going to be in my wheelhouse. I know there's certain games. And even then, I still take chances on stuff because I've said this before, I'm not the biggest deduction fan or social deduction fan. So those games are definitely not going to be my jam, but I'm still willing to try them because I never know when there's going to be a surprise. Last year, one of my favorite games of 2020, The Search for Planet X. That is a deduction game. I did not think I would like it. It was one of my favorites of that last year. So you never know. Tillivan Nice in LA is in the house. Thank you. 27. Wow, my July wrap up would be 5. Hey, as long as you play a game in the month, I think that's great. I'm very fortunate I'm in the position I am to play a lot of games, but at the same time, I understand it may be unique. But hey, as long as we're playing games, we could talk about games. I'm excited about it. Let's see. We're going to jump right into it. I want to thank you all again for joining me. Remember, stay hydrated, friends. It's going to be another hot day out here in the Inland Empire. We're talking, it was 100 degrees yesterday. I think it'll be 100 degrees today. And Delden 36 just played Search. Yes, super fun. I love the theme of Search for Planet X. I actually feel like a scientist. I'm taking my little notes and stuff. Pretty cool. Amanda Pan has also played. Yes, it is a wonderful game. I'm going to go to, what am I doing here? I wanted to share this screen because we're going to start with my number one. Not number one. So what I'm doing is I'm going in chronological order. So starting from July 1st all the way to July 31st. I did not play a game every day, but some of these games I played multiple times. I will share my experiences as I remember them. My memory's a little shot these days, so shall see. Stacey, my week wrap up is 9 this week. Because I packed a suitcase and had to visit with fam. Very nice. Argus had 11, most of them multiple sessions. Nice. I wish, you know what? I have played multiple sessions of some of these games, which I'm really excited about because I think sometimes as content creators, you just forget. You just you can play a game, then you move on to the next thing, play again. I've been really the last, I'd say, few months, I've been really trying to focus on, hey, not every game we need to make content for, and just play the games because we love to play them. Remember, that's what we're in this for. So there's a few games here that I was very fortunate to pick and play and say, hey, you know what, we're going to play this a second time. And, either they were streamed or not. They're just wonderful, wonderful experiences. Tantalorus is in the house. Thank you for joining us, friend. Good to see you here. We're doing my July monthly gaming wrap up. We played 27 games. And the first game I'm going to talk about is Cubitos. Cubitos. There is my screen. This is a game from AEG by John D. Clare, who has just been he's been putting out a lot of great games, right? And Cubitos is my current favorite John D. Clare game. This game is a push your luck dice game, and what you're doing is racing around a track. If you've played the Quacks of Quedlinburg, you have a very good feel of what this game's all about. Here's the track, all those little boxes of dice. I mean, the boxes themselves, meh, but the dice, it's so much fun. It's like a dice / bag builder. You start with your basic dice, you roll them, you're trying to get across around the track, and as you generate money or income or coins, I think it is, you're going to buy better dice. They give you special abilities to help you move around the track more. It's a lot of fun. Michelle loved it right off the get-go, and I really enjoyed it as well. So this is a winner in our book. Cubitos. If you like push your luck games, this is your jam right here. And if you have Quacks, I think this is a wonderful Quacks the dice game, basically, right? And let me see if there's okay. I was going to see if there's any. Oh, yeah. Here's a close-up photo. Those are little cubes. It's a funky little theme. Everyone look at the box. I mean, I don't know. The art was it looks like SpongeBob SquarePants and Lederhosen. Sort of weird. But that is Cubitos. That's the first game I played this month, and played 11 games in July. Oh, Deadpan played 11 games in July. More than I thought. Nice. Panda Angel brings up a good point. I don't like push your luck, but I really enjoyed Cubitos. And I feel like this is the type of game that if you're not into push your luck, you may like it. And it's sort of like Quacks as well, where it's not really, you're just doing your own thing, but it's got this really fun race mechanic to it, where you race around the board, and it's the first one across the finish line, but it's done in such a cute and adorable way. I don't find it mean at all or anything. And the push your luck, even when you bust, you will always get something. You move up the fan track. I don't know if you can see it here. There is a fan track up here, which you will move across. And as you move higher on the fan track, you will get more things, which include additional dice or additional money and so forth. So it's a nice little catch-up mechanism. Another way to catch up, too, is as you're going, if you get too far out on the track, they're separated by these red lines. And if you're separated by one or two more areas, you will get additional dice depending on how far you are. My only complaint is the red, because it's right there on that greenish color. It's really tough for colorblind players. So I'm actually thinking about going back and either painting those lines white so it's easier for me to see, or black or something. Deldon says Cubitos is really good, but I think Quacks is slightly ahead of it. Hey, fair enough. I enjoy both games. I believe there's space for both games in a collection. I just happen to have Cubitos. And here's the thing. Quacks, for whatever reason, I mean, it's a popular game. It's always hard to find in print. Cubitos is available now. And I just like chucking dice. That's just, I will always choose rolling dice over, pulling chits out of a bag. But that's just my personal thing. Toro's in the house. Hi, Toro. Good to see you. Yeah, look at all those tabs. We got 27 games to talk about, brother. Okay, so let's move on to the second game. So for those who just joined me, thank you. I'm Ruel, and I'm talking about the 27 games I played in July in chronological order. And I'm excited to be here because I took my day off break, and I'm getting back in the live stream today. I'll be live streaming today and tonight as well. My friend Daryl, he's coming over for the Tabletop Tonight show. We're going to be playing a game that I haven't announced yet because I need to make sure we're on the same page as far as it's on me, basically. I'm going to verify with Daryl what we're playing tonight. But we're talking about the games I played in July in chronological order. The next one is Terraforming Mars Eris Expedition. I was going to add that. There it is right there. I am hyped about this game because I love Terraforming Mars, but I do not as I played the game over the years, it always takes 2 hours to play that game. And as much as I love that type of game, I love the engine building, I love the theme, and I love the card-driven play. 2 hours is 2 hours, folks. And still, that's not including setup and, reviewing the rules and whatnot. Terraforming Mars Eris Expedition does everything Terraforming Mars does in half the time. I played my first game that I've only played it once with my friend Jake Michaels. Jake taught me the game, and we played the entire game with Teach in just over an hour, probably hour 15. I know after that first play, we could play that game in 45 minutes, less than an hour. And I loved everything about it. It's got the feel of Terraforming Mars without, it streamlines stuff, and it introduces this race for the galaxy / roll for the galaxy mechanism of action selection. You have 5 different actions you can take. You reveal them at the same time, and sometimes your action gets triggered, sometimes it doesn't, and you're trying to, it's got that small amount of meta to it where you're trying to outthink your opponent or think what they're trying to do. And I loved it. It's got everything about Terraforming Mars. If you don't know what Terraforming Mars is, it's an engine building game, card driven, and Terraforming Mars Aerospec Expedition does it in a much more streamlined way, in my opinion. I really enjoyed it. Is it as meaty or like filled with those tough decisions as Terraforming Mars? Terraforming Mars, the original game, it's still it's thinky. This one is no slouch though. For you think card game, it's probably just going to be very very light version of the original. I didn't find that at all. I thought it was a fantastic experience, and I'm not going to lie, I am really considering getting rid of. Am I really going to get rid of Terraforming Mars, the original? No matter how much I love it, with all the expansions, I may, because if I had the choice right now between Eris Expedition and the original, I'd play Eris Expedition every single time just because it's so much faster. Shout out to Tailwagging Games for joining us. Thanks, friends. Good to see you. Ruel, are you rating these? No, I'm not rating these yet. Stacy, great question. I'm going to save my Ruel ranks for the R&R show tomorrow with Richard. I'm gonna rate another game tomorrow. This one I feel like Terraforming Mars Aerospec Expedition is a rock solid 8 in my book right now, maybe even more than that. I really enjoy this game. Tailwagging Games, glad to know you like Eris Expedition. We really like Terraforming Mars and was wondering if it was worth getting this one. Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. Ben says, I'm tempted to sell my copy, to be honest. Solo on the app is almost enough for me about Terraforming Mars. It's too fluffy in reality with some significant card draw issues that are papered over by drafting. That is fair. Did I miss comments? I feel like, okay, James says, yeah, R&D, Daryl and I tonight. And Amanda says, Ben, would you think you'd want to try the expansion before you sell it? No, we're talking about the Terraforming Mars expansions. I've played a few of them. The one I always include is Prelude. I think that's a necessary one. And that's the thing with Terraforming Mars Expedition. You don't need those expansions. You have everything you need to do to play the game right there. So, whoops. What am I doing here? Y'all can't see what I'm. Okay. There. Hi. So that is Terraforming Mars. That's the second game I played this month. Again, I'm just going in chronological order. The third game is Reiner Knizia's Decathlon. Hey, how come the screen's not popping up? There it is. Oops, wrong way. There it is. This we played a lot this month. I don't know how many. I can look over here on my BG Stats app. I played this game almost 10 times this month because as part of Tabletop Live Network, this is the game we were playing for the Olympics. It was the Decathlon. It's a free roll and write, print and play from Reiner Knizia. This one I've got to rate right now because I think 6.3 is so low for this game. It's not, it's not like the chunkiest roll and write, the thinkiest or whatever. 1.21 weight. Yeah, it's basically a better version of Yahtzee. And there's 10 mini games in it, each corresponding to an event, such as the 100-meter dash, the hurdles, the high jump, and so forth. I'm going to rate this. Stacey Everdell and friends, I said I wasn't going to rate anything. I lied. Just like Arnold Schwarzenegger in Commando, I lied. I'm going to rate this right now. I'm giving this, let's see. It's 7 here. I'm going 7.5. I really like this roll and write. It's fun. It's easy to learn, but there's a couple of tricky things. Like each mini event has its own style of push your luck. It's all basically push your luck, and you're just trying to get the highest score in each one. But for example, a long jump, you have to start with, I think it's 4 or 5 dice. You roll them and you lock numbers. You really want low numbers because you cannot total more than 9 or total more than 8. And then after you're done locking numbers, hopefully 1s and 2s, you go to the next phase of long jump. So that was the run up. Then you do the actual jump. That's where you roll the dice again. You must lock at least one each per turn, but now you're trying to get the high dice to get a high score. It's really clever, and all the events are like that. They have different takes on, hey, what are you trying to roll? It's up to like 8 dice, and they're just standard 6-sided dice, so you can easily play this at home. I printed off a sheet, laminated it. I bought. I mean, we have plenty of 6-sided dice in the house, but it gave me an excuse to buy a big bag of 6-sided dice on Amazon for like $10, 100 dice. I got to play with multiple colors, a lot of fun. Decathlon is a blast. It's free, folks. The Dr. Knizia has blessed us with his amazing design for free, so there's no excuse not to play this. I think it's just. It's so much fun for a roll and write. And, it says, this is what's funny. It says 45 minutes to play. If you solo it, it's like 15 or 20. I for 45 minutes, if you played it like 4 players where you do it like the recommended way or whatever, where each player is like you're attempting your high jump at the same time, in like the Olympics, like each player, don't do it. Just play it solo style. It's 15, 20 minutes. It's fun. Let's see, catch some more comments. Before this week, Ben says before this weekend, the last time we had played Decathlon was about 9 years ago, during the 2012 Olympics. Nice. And we are going to move on with my next game. I'm just moving quickly along here, friends, because I've got other work to do, but I'm really happy to be here. I've got a meeting lined up later today, I think at 12:30. So if you feel like I'm going a little too quickly, just, hey, shout me out. Let me know. Hey, Ruel, you don't have to run through these that quickly. You've got time. So Bottom Shelf says, I only use, Bottom Shelf only uses handcrafted artisanal dice made of palladium. Oh, Bottom Shelf, always good for a comment. Thank you, friend. Good to see you on here. Next game that I played is, so I'm going in turn order, Blank Slate. I know exactly when I played this game in July. This was on the 4th of July. And the 4th of July was happening at my brother's house, family. And I don't know if you're like me, but when I go see family or friends or little get-togethers, I bring my little bag of games just in case, you never know. But here's the cool thing. We had our 4th of July get-together, which is really nice because it's been over a year since we've done like family parties because of everything that's going on. And I was ready to play games, but I will never force games on anyone. If you want to play, I just happen to have a bag of them. But my niece, I was so proud of my niece. My niece said, hey, Uncle Ruel, do you want to play Blank Slate? I was like, of course, yeah. She had a copy of Blank Slate. I don't remember if I gave it to her, if she bought it herself, or we gifted it to her. I don't remember, but she knew how to play, and she had her little friends, and then she asked me and her auntie Michelle, and I believe, was it her mom or dad or someone? So we had a nice mix of adults and the younger kids, and we played Blank Slate, had a great time. Wonderful party game, super easy to learn. You're just playing, you have single words that you're trying to play onto your little erasable pen here. So, for example, the clue could be like, for this one, let me see. Is there an example here? There is not an example. But an example would be blank pen, P-E-N, blank pen. And then everyone would write on their little blank card there, something pen, like ballpoint pen or, red pen or whatever. And then whoever matches, it's sort of like Dixit style scoring, where if you exactly have one match, you get 3 points. If you match with more than one person, everyone gets 1 point. If you match with no one, you get 0. And it's just a race to 25 where you can, go down to 20 or 15, whatever for your audience. It's a wonderful, hey, that's a great one, James. I like that. Pig pen. That's clever answer right there, James. I like that. It is a party game that's always a hit. It's easy to play on Zoom or on live streams. We've played it a ton of times. Hey, Wannabe Kiwi's in the house. Hi, thanks for joining us, Wannabe Kiwi. Good to see you. Yeah, there's a lot of replayability because so if you see here, there's a huge stack of cards and they're double-sided. So I know I played this at least a dozen times, and we may have come across repeat words, clues. I don't know, because I always have fun with it, and it's always a hit. It's been in my collection for a few years now. When we were doing in-person gaming before the pandemic, we played a lot of this, and we continue to. So It is a wonderful party game that's Blank Slate from the Op. All right, let's move on to the next game. So again, I'm just wrapping up the games that I played last month, friends. I want to thank you all for hanging out with me. The next game on the list is Ingenious. Weren't we just talking about the good doctor, Dr. Reiner Knizia? Ingenious is, living up to its name, Ingenious. I mean, how could I not say that? This is an abstract game from the good doctor, and Michelle had not played this before. I don't know how that happens because we're both Knizia fans. As Michelle calls him, Ray K. that's our pet name for the good doctor. This is a abstract game of laying tiles, and I'm going to show you. Let's see. Let's look at. Oh, these are interesting. Wow, so people got fancy with their pictures on BGG here. So here's what the board would look like at the end of the game. It's playable by 2 to 4 players. These are double hexes, right? So each tile has 2 of these little hexes. They're differentiated by their color and shape, so very colorblind friendly. Thank you, Dr. Knizia. We love you. And what you're doing is you're trying to match them with similar colors or shapes. And depending on how you match, you will score points on your little pegboard. Now, in the twist, a very Knizian twist, as you score the pegs, for instance, if I have a bunch of the stars or blue ones, maybe I'm at 19 points or whatever for that. And then maybe I have like the green circles, I'm at 13 points. And then maybe the yellow starbursts are at 6 points. Your final score is the lowest that you've scored. So you don't want to just max out one color or shape. You really do want to try to keep a balance, right? And then because your lowest is your score. And there's one cool little twist where if you do max out a certain color, for example, you hit like the 20, I think it's 20 is the maximum. You hit that, then you get to place an additional tile on your turn. So it's the one time during the game you get to place 2 tiles at once. So it's so easy to learn, but oh my gosh, such great tactical strategy. I love Ingenious. I mean, it's no secret. I am a big Knizia fan. Yeah, Ben is a Ingenious fan. Ray K himself, Ingenious is wonderful. Agreed. Yeah, it's a really interesting scoring system, Amanda. And Wannabe Kiwi also loves Ingenious. They have a travel 2-player version. I did not know that. Awesome. Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is such a great game. I am going to continue now. So thanks, friends, for hanging out with me. What's my next game here on the list that I played? Oh, speaking of Reiner Knizia, the next game that I played, another one that Michelle hadn't played. So this, I taught her, I think we might have played it on the same stream. This was streamed, but I know that both these games we played off stream as well, which is, really cool in my book. It's a good game if we play off stream as well. Lost Cities from the good doctor. This game is a card-based game. And it's a 2-player card game. It takes about 30 minutes. You can play in 20, if you're quick. This is, excuse me. Oh, I better hydrate. There's an older version of it. Okay, here's the version I have. Yeah, this is from Cosmos, and there are different colors, each with a set of cards numbered from 1 through 10, with a bunch of handshake cards as well. The handshakes are the interesting part of this game. You're trying to build up different expeditions. So, I mean, it has this funny little, like Indiana Jones themes where you're trying to build your... Okay, these are the older ones here. Trying to find the version that I have. Okay, there it is right there in a different language. Lost Cities, you're building up tableaus of cards from 1 through 10. You have to go in ascending order. You can skip numbers, of course, but anytime you start an expedition or anytime you lay down a color, you automatically get minus 20 points. Okay, so if you put a number 1 on yellow, and that's the end of that, that's all you do that during the game, then you'll have negative 19 points. So you don't want to do that. You want to build up as many as you can. But the real cool what my favorite part of is the tension each turn, because you must play a card and then draw a card, and you're trying to figure out, what am I trying to keep here? What am I trying to keep away from my opponent? And then there's those times when you can sort of like gamble or make calculated risk by playing a handshake card, because that's going to double the amount of points you get there. Now you got to be careful. You put that handshake there, and if you don't put any if you don't put any cards there with numbers on them, you're going to get negative points. So each handshake is an exponential multiplier. So you go from like double to triple to quadruple the points. It's so clever. Michelle and I really enjoy this. I've enjoyed this for years, and I don't know why I never played it with Michelle. It might have been just one of those things where I think I just forgot about it, you know. But the card game is good. I didn't like the. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Wannabe Kiwi. Here's why. We had played the board game. I played the card game first years ago. Really enjoyed it. Got a copy, but just forgot about it. Then I got a copy of the board game. I actually like the board game too. It's a very now the board game it's interesting because it's a lighter version of the card game. I feel like the card game is way more tense and way more. I don't know. It's a really nice tug of war back and not a tug of war, but just trying to out scheme your opponent. Whereas the board game is very much more forgiving, but it does have that similar feel to it. I feel like the board game is like Lost Cities, the card game light, right? So Michelle and I did like the board game, and I do want to stream that one of these days. I think it's a nice little alternative to Lost Cities, the card game. It's a very light one. Ben Osteen says, lots of Knizia games this month. Have you played a Knizia thought? No. And you know what, Ben? I was actually thinking about it. Y'all can't see my whiteboard right now. I have a whiteboard here in the office or studio with ideas and stuff. And I seriously just wrote this down. Tuesday, November 16th is Reiner Knizia's birthday. So I want to do like a Knizia-thon where just nothing but Knizias. I don't know if it'll be live stream or not. I think it'd be neat to just, if we all got together here in Southern California and just, did a bunch of Knizia games. But that's November 16th. I literally just wrote this down like, I think this weekend or maybe it was like last week. James says Lost Cities is fun. Tail Wagons loves Lost Cities. Nice. Let's see what else. Lots of Knizia. If you get behind in the board game, you can just keep falling behind. I've tried a few times. One person kept getting. Oh, that's interesting. Wannabe Kiwi. So there's a runaway leader problem in the board game. That's interesting. Now, Michelle and I have only played it at 2, so we didn't come across too much of that. At least I don't remember. I don't think we did during our playthroughs. But I'll have to. I'll play it again. I would love to see. You're probably right. I'm sure you played it at more player counts than I have. But Lost Cities, the card game, a classic for a reason, friends. And I think it's interesting that I'm talking about Lost Cities because the next game that I played in the month of July is one that felt like Lost Cities but amplified, and that is Red Rising. Now, this is based on Fantasy Realms, the card game. I have not played Fantasy Realms. So I'm from everything that everyone said, like it's basically Fantasy Realms, but I guess fancier and, with nicer bits because it's Stonemaier. I've heard a lot of I'll be honest, I've heard a lot of negative things about Red Rising before I backed it. I am a fan of Stonemaier games and I like their Viticulture Essential Edition, one of my top 5 of all time. I love Scythe. I enjoyed Tapestry and Red Rising. I got. I have the book. I have not read the book. It's been sitting on my nightstand for years, but this one really reminded me of Lost Cities in the fact that you play a card, then you take a card. So it's got that very similar mechanism. Of course, they're totally nothing like each other. Red Rising's got combinations for days. You can find all kinds of different combinations to pull off. You're always trying to, find that one place that you can play a card and then take a card and take that action and trying to, make sure that your characters line up. Because I don't know anything about this world, I wasn't excited about it as players friends that I know who have read the books and they love the interaction. I believe it's my friend Patrick who's really in the books and he was saying a lot of good things about the way the theme is handled. And I really enjoyed it. Daryl and I played a 2-player game. I would like to see how it plays with 3 or 4, just because you will see more cards in a game. But we Daryl and I had talked about this. We said, have you heard anything good about Red Rising? And it's like, I've heard some lukewarm things. I've heard some people straight out hate it. But we weren't sure. And then we played it. I was like, this is a really good game. I really enjoyed it. I think Stonemaier may suffer from their own success at this point where they're a victim of their own success, right? So everyone expects the new game to be like the next Scythe or the next Viticulture. And this one was like so light compared to those other games. And people, I guess, are disappointed by that. Take it for what it is, folks. I think it's perfect. I think it's a fun card-driven game. And it's actually gotten me to, okay. I should say that I was going to say that it got me to start reading the books. I actually, when I went to Nashville earlier this month, I took the book with me to read on the plane. Had it ready to go. I didn't read it. I ended up just, doing other things. I played a game. I just didn't read the book. It was one of those things. I had it all set to go. It's back on my nightstand. I want to read it one of these days because I did enjoy the game. GP Laser says, I've really enjoyed Red Rising. I've read the first 3 books, so that adds to the fun. But it's a fun combo game regardless. Absolutely, GP. I totally agree. I really enjoy that part of this game. Tailwagging Games is currently reading the Red Rising book series, which is pretty good. I want to finish it reading before playing the game. I get you there. Runaway Leader isn't as big of a problem as catch up to the leader problem for me, Alex says. Panda says, I met the author. Oh, cool. Really nice. That's good to hear. Always nice to hear. Buying the book is as good as reading it, Bob. So, hey, if that's the case, then I'm done with it. So that's Red Rising, friends. That is one of the next game that I'd played this month. Let's move on. This is a game that Michelle and I streamed. It is Four Gardens. We actually streamed this twice and played it off screen once or twice. So we are fans of this game. Four Gardens from Arcane Wonders. Set collection game at its heart. It's a drafting game, and you are trying to... It's got this really... It's the unique aspect of this game is this pagoda right here, the resource pagoda. You are literally turning it, and it's beautiful. Korean board games, their components, we played 1, 2, 3 Korean board games. This one, Monster Dentist, and there was like some battle game. The components are each one out of this world, just top-notch components. This is another case of that. Beautiful art. You're trying to create these landscapes by, you get your resources, lay it on the groundwork, then you flip it over to the landscape. Then you get to move up the little scoring track. It's fun. It's got a little meanness, though, just a little bit, because if you reach the end of the scoring track, let me see if I can get a better picture. There it is. If you can get to the end of the scoring track and your opponent is not at the end as well, you get to bump them back. So if I was at this, if Michelle was at this yellow, and this actually happened during our game, I think Michelle was at this yellow, she crossed over here, and then she was able to bump me back here. But the funny thing is, if you're on this, like if you're on the last space and your opponent bumps you off, you are off that track. You can no longer score that color. We have not had that happen yet. You can as you're playing, you can pretty much make sure you don't let that happen to you, but it can happen. We haven't seen that play. It's got that little touch of meanness, but it's just, don't let that scare you off if you're not in that type of game. It's really a wonderful set collection game. Beautiful art. I mean, Korean board games, they're definitely, a rising star in the board game space. And this is one that I'm glad that Arcane Wonders picked up, because it'll see more distribution. Okay. Oh, hey, Bob Show. This is a great comment. He says, I played my first modern board game in Korea. They have some great game cafes. Interesting. Ben Osteen says, Level X/Mountain Goats has a similar thing. Oh, interesting. I've never played those games. So, yeah, we were big fans of this. Michelle and I really enjoyed Four Gardens. This will be in our collection for a long time, if not permanent. We shall see. I think this is a wonderful game. Okay, let us move on. The next game we got to play is, here it is. Inkling. This game, this is interesting. I wasn't so sure about this game. I got to play this with Eric Yorko. He had made a quick trip down to LA, and we got to meet up and play Inkling, where this is a word game, but it's a really unique way to do a word game. I'm going to show you some of the pieces here. So as you can see, these letters, right? You can see the A, you can see the T, but you can cover the letters up in a way to create the words on your word list. And I'm still sort of like, I'm not totally sold on this yet. I thought it was unique. Okay, so you're not like, so you can see what this says here, LIFE, but what does this say going across, right? What is that word? POI, is that an N? It's almost abstract, where you can like give like hints to what letters you're trying to do. Really interesting way to do a word game. Risa Roney's in the house. Hi, always nice to see you. Thank you, Risa, for dropping in. Good to see you on here. Panda Angel, yes. Panda Angel also played this. This game kind of hurt my brain, but it's very interesting. Yeah, I can see. Yeah, and Ben, Ben was saying point for that one word, and I was thinking point, or because this is flipped over, I may have said pain, Pain. But yeah, point could be it, and it's one of those things where it's very abstract / word gaming. I love my word games. Maybe this was just weird for me for a word game, and that's why it didn't really. I mean, I liked it. I didn't love it, but I would definitely play it again. And for what it's worth, I felt like it ran a little long for this type of game. Let me see how long it says it should play. Okay, 20 minutes. I don't know why it ran long. Maybe because we played 6 players or something, or 1, 2, 3, 4. Was it me? Dune. We played 5 players. I don't know why. It just seemed longer than it should have taken. But right there, you see the name Kwanchai Moria. It's right there. I was like, yes, love it already. Big fan of Quanche's game. Good gravy. That's a lot of tabs. Yes, board game, or yes, Book of Nerds. Thank you for joining us. Good morning. And yes, that is. Wait, where am I? I was going to show your comment. Good gravy. That's a lot of tabs. I want to show that because good gravy. I haven't heard that in years. Gravy sounds good, doesn't it? Thank you. Me Hammer Time. Hi. Good to see you on here as well. So Inkling, really interesting way to do a board game. It's got that abstract / word game feel to it. So for those of you just joining us, I am talking about the July gaming wrap-up, the games that I played this in the last month or so, and the next game. So there it is right there. Whoops, no, that's not it. There. July monthly gaming wrap-up with Ruel. I'm Ruel. The next game I played is Wicked and Wise. This is another one that Eric Yurko brought down for a, he was in LA and we played a few games with him. This is a game by, let me share the screen. And look at this lineup. Fortesse Elise, designer, artist J. Bell, Estefania Rodriguez, and Beth Sobel. Like, what an all-star lineup, published by Weird Giraffe Games. It is a trick-taking game. Now, to be fully honest, with the game we played, it was a prototype form. I think some of the rules were still rough because we had a couple of questions during gameplay. And, gosh, it almost pains me to say this. I wasn't totally sold on this game. And I see the designer, I see the artist. I'm like, this has got to be instant love for me. But it wasn't at this point in the game because it was still a prototype. There's still things to be ironed out, I believe. At the heart of it, it's we played. Let me see. You can play 2 to 6. We played 5. So it was like this really. It might have been the funky, like we had one player by himself. Eric played him by himself. Then we had 2 teams of 2 each, and you're playing. It's interesting in the fact that you have a mouse and a dragon. Let me see. Let me pull up some pictures here if they have them. Yeah. Oh, do they have the cards? I mean, it's a beautiful looking game. Look at this. Yeah, all the bits and stuff. So you're playing, it was like a team-based game, trick taking. So one player is going to play, and this is what's interesting. This I did like about the game. One player is playing cards for their value, standard trick taking. The other player on your team is playing cards for their ability. So there's ways that you can like sort of give cards to each other through the abilities and stuff. And I thought that was really a really neat way to do a team-based trick taking game. Excuse me, I better hydrate. Has anyone played this, or what's your favorite trick taking games? While I take a sip here. Yeah, Wannabe Kiwi. Yeah, look at this lineup, right? Amazing group of people. And yes, all awesome people. Oh, be Hammer Time. That phrase takes me back to good gravy, right? Totally. And then Wannabe Kiwi talking about the last game. Yeah, Kwanchai Moria. Love the art. But I mean, look at this. I'm Beth Sobel. I mean, Estefania Rodriguez and J Bell. I mean, this is beautiful. So yeah, I was like, I don't know, because we had just, it was a learning game. I will say that. It takes 45 to 60 minutes. We took about that time as a learning game for the 5 of us. And I got to give this another shot because I do enjoy trick-taking games. I think we just had some rough patches of learning. But yeah, you're going to try to get coins and stuff as your points. But this one's one to look out, keep an eye on, because of the designer and the artists alone. And Weird Giraffe Games, they put out good games. So I want to give this another shot. That is Wicked and Wise from Weird Giraffe Games. Let's continue, shall we? Where is the next game? Eric and I and other friends, we all got together and played a bunch of games. So basically, we played Inkling, Wicked and Wise. We played a bunch of them. I'm going to go to the next one, Dokojong. So Dokojong is a oink game. God, I was thinking pig game. I didn't want to say pig game, but look at the cover, friends. Of course, I'm going to love this game. It's a pug. Oh my gosh. The second Eric said, "Oh, what do you want to play next?" and he had Dokojong, I was like, "We got to play that." Michelle and we got to play the pug game. I love oink games. This has got a pug. This is a deduction game. As I've said plenty of times before, I'm not the biggest deduction fan, but this one plays in 20 minutes, and it's super cute and super easy. These are tiles. They're sort of like Azul tiles. It's got that nice chunkiness to them. And what you're trying to do is find out where your dog is hidden amongst the tiles. So everyone's got their dog, and then there's other tiles. You have them, I think it's 5 tiles in front of you that no one else can see. And then just, you're trying to deduce where each dog is. And there are different actions that you can take on your turn. It's a cute little filler. And honestly, I'm going to buy it just because it's got a pug on it, folks. That's Bruno right there. So there's the dogs. You got a Corgi. Is that a Shiba Inu? I believe this is like a Boston Terrier. What type of dog is this? Y'all know your dogs. I don't know really my dogs. So Bruno getting royalties for that. Impending lawsuit in 5, 4, 3. Vault says, "I don't know that I've really played any trick-taking games." Oh, okay. As far as trick-taking games, Tail Wagging Games says they like. Fox and the Forest, yeah, regular and do-it version. Yeah, you know what's funny, Tail Wagging? I actually like, I think the co-op version better of Fox and the Forest. And I remember a lot of people didn't like the co-op version. I actually liked it. Both games are good. Personally, for trick-taking games for 2 players, those are specifically 2-player games. Let me get this back up. So Tail Wagging Games talking about Fox and the Forest. Those are specifically 2-player games. For 2-player trick-taking games, I love Claim from Deepwater Games. Claim is my type of trick-taking game. It is, more, I guess, in your face, but it doesn't feel mean at all. But it's got different factions that you're playing, and those give you different abilities, and it's still trick-taking. Really cool game. Michelle and I are big fans of it. Hey, Slivers, thanks for joining us. John says, that type of dog is called Not a Cat. Oh, that's right. This is the Not a Cat. Thanks, John. I guess this is a bloodhound, and this is, I don't know. Well, all I know is this is a pug, and they sold me on that. So that is super cute. Another winner from Oink Games, and they're like the small box games. They can totally fit in your pocket. So that's one of the games I played in July. Let's move on. Thank you again for joining us, folks. I'm Ruel. This is my July gaming wrap-up. And I'm talking about all 27 games that I played in July. And feel free, as we're going along here, let me know in the comments what you've been playing, what you're excited about. I'm going to continue after Dokojong with Eric Yorko. We played In a Grove. This is another deduction game. I'm not the biggest fan of deduction, but this one was great. This says 6.3 In a Grove 2011. The one we played was actually the new version that was released, I think, as part of the Kickstarter that Oink did recently. I don't know the differences between, let me see, maybe we can look at them here. Okay, I don't remember that. What is that? That doesn't look like it at all. Was that someone's like, okay, this looks more like it. Okay, this looks like the version we played. So you're trying to find out who has killed. It's a deduction game. Who has committed the crime? You can see here there is one person who's been, bloodied, and these are you're playing detectives. Very quick game. Oh yeah, that's what they're called, like the silhouettes, right? It's very abstract, minimalist, which I thought was really interesting on the table. Here's a better look at it, right there. Right, so these are it's so clever the way they did this game. All players take a look at their silhouettes, so you know what number you are, and then you're going to use that as far as trying to figure out who the murderer is or who the culprit is. So you can look at the tiles. I think, let me see. First player of the round, secret looks at 2 of the suspects, obviously swapping the victim, so you can swap out. That actually reminds you of the game that Michelle and I. Oh, actually, spoiler alert, I'm going to be talking about a game that's similar in just a later in the show here. So, this is okay. Here's the change right here. Early editions support 3 to 4 players, while the 2021 edition contains slight changes to the rules and now allows for 5 people to play, which is what we played at when we all got together with Eric. There's a suspect here with no number. They're always innocent. And so you're going to, go around. The pieces are placed around. I don't know if there's is there a setup? Yeah, here's how it's set up here. So each player is staying here. They each have their little tokens. And through your powers of deduction, you're going to find out who is the guilty party. Really interesting and fun way to do a deduction game. Really simple. Tailwagon says, "Ooh, haven't tried claiming." Yeah, definitely check that one out. And there's claim. It's between $10 and $15. Totally cheap. But there's a bunch of expansions that have different factions. Love that one. Vault says, think of the bottom right is a Shinny Ubu, top might be a Basset Hound. That's what it is. And Cocker Spaniel. All things want to be Kiwi. We're going back. Let's go back at that's Inkling, Wicked and Wise. There's Dokojong. We're going to look at that again. Yeah, Pug, Basset Hound. Yeah, that's a Basset Hound. And then Shibu Inu, Cocker Spaniel. Yeah. And Book of Nerds, okay, we're going to go back to Inner Grove. Book of Nerds says, looks cute. Bought my first Oink game last night. Durian, oh, nice. Did not get to play that. My first Oink game, like a lot of people, was Deep Sea Adventure, which we still love. Inner Grove made me say, huh? Yeah. That first picture where characters from the Ace Attorney video game series. Oh, okay, got it. Cool. Label said it was a retheme. So that is Inner Grove. Oink games, they're always, I also love, what was the other game Startups. Startups is really good Oink games. It's so neat that they can do these tiny games that just wonderfully produced. That's another one, a very popular one as well. Wannabe Kiwi, an artist goes to New York. Yeah. Time Roller's announced. Hi, Time Roller. Going over the games I played in July. The next one was Crash Octopus. This is a dexterity game with a fun theme. I actually had a chance to back this on Kickstarter, and I passed. I ultimately passed, but I love the game. I thought it was a really fun dexterity game. So this is a dexterity game, folks. If you're not a fan of dexterity games, this will not convert you. You are in the great sea, the great ocean here. You've got octopus, you got your boats. You're trying to knock over things. One player is going to be the octopus trying to knock over the boats. Hey, there's a meeple. There's someone standing on their head. Super cute theme, super fun. You use the flags to flick the little discs around. There's an island. There's all the pieces. And you score points for, what you have on your boat at the end. It's got a little bit of, what was that game? You set up you just randomly throw a bunch of pieces and I think it was Dungeon Drop, where you just randomly drop all the components, and in Crash Octopus, you're going to put a ring that's the play area. Then, as you can see, you use your flags to flick the things into these other things, the pieces into the other pieces. I have been forever spoiled by Crokinole. Crokinole to me is the ultimate dexterity game. No matter how simple Crokinole may seem to people, it's got gameplay that is just brilliant. And as much as I enjoyed Crash Octopus, I ultimately thought, hey, it's cool. I've got Crokinole. I'm happy as far as having a dexterity game in my collection. I think Crokinole is the ultimate. But this one, great, fantastic, brilliant family game. This is the type of game that, you have early gamers or people new to gaming. They're going to see this on the table and immediately just flock to us. Oh my gosh, look at this. It's got these tentacles. It's got the ships and so it is fun, gonna say. Deadpan says they were lukewarm with Deep Sea Adventure at 2, played at 6. Yeah, Deep Sea Adventure is definitely better with more players. Deadpan, totally agree. The Great Sea, this is the Zelda crossover I never knew existed. Nice. So that is Crash Octopus. What company did this? I don't remember. Is it Itten? Itten? Yeah, this was on Kickstarter last year. I had a friend of mine message me the last day of the campaign. I looked at it, I was like, I was about to back, and I ended up not doing it. And I would totally play this game anytime, but it doesn't need to be in my collection personally. But I think it's if you're into dexterity games, it's a fun one to have. Okay, next. So I think those were all the games that we played with Eric when he was in town. Really, a shout out to Eric. He brought all the new games, like stuff that I either never heard of, like Inkling, or just wasn't on my radar. Like, what was it? What was the one that not on my radar? Dokojong? No. Gosh, I was just gonna Intergrove. That one was not on my radar. But yeah, shout out to Eric for teaching so many great games. The next one on the list, this one was when we played with Eric. We had a few minutes left over before we're gonna, call it before Michelle and I left. And you're always looking for that, filler to take 5-10 minutes or whatever. This is one of my favorites, Push from Ravensburger, straight push your luck game. Michelle's a huge push your luck. She's more of a push your luck mechanic fan than I am, but I still love that. It's funny now. I think as I'm saying this, Michelle really loved Cubitos and she really loved Push. So those are two push your luck games that we're fans of. This is a card-driven, card-based push your luck game. You are trying to collect all your points here on your bench. So these points, these cards here, you're going to flip them over one at a time, and then at some point you're going to stop, hopefully, and collect before you bust. Then the other players in turn order get to collect theirs. Sometimes they get stuck. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they have to roll a die if you have one of these cards. And the roll a die rule is if the color matches, you're going to lose those. Now, on your turn, you can turn over cards, you score them, put them on your bench, I believe. Or no, this is your bench. You put in your score pile. Once they're put in the score pile, they can't be touched. Like MC Hammer said, or me Hammer Time said, you can't touch this. Those are scored, but with my friend Daryl, we play the mean rule where normally if you roll on this die, their colors correspond to each one, except for black. Black is supposed to be the safe color. If you roll black, then you lose all the ones on your bench. That's pretty brutal. But we did not play that way with Eric. We just played standard rules. A lot of fun game. A lot of fun with Push. Hi, Wise Wizard Game. Thanks for joining us. Good to see you on here. Hope you're doing well. Jimmy Clares, I want to thank you for resubscribing, friend. We really appreciate your support. We got some new followers as well. Tabletop Rebellion, Chelly129, AFMG. Thank you, friends, for the follows. I am doing my July gaming wrap-up. These are the games that I played during the month of July. I played a total of 27, and we're just reviewing them, checking them out, offering some thoughts on them. I'm talking about Push right now. Push is a lot of fun. It's a card-driven, push your luck game. Michelle's a huge fan. I'm a huge fan. I want to thank everyone for joining us today. We're almost done, but we've still got plenty of games to talk about. What's next on the list? Glad you asked, Ruel. The next, you knew I was going to throw that in. The next game on the list is Kohaku. Now, I just talked about my friend Daryl. This month, we played Kohaku with Daryl and his lovely wife, Abby. Again, this is so nice about being vaccinated, friends. We get to see our friends and family again. We are all vaccinated. Our households are safe. Went over to Daryl and Abby's house recently. Brought some games, of course. And, now that I'm thinking about it, I think I forgot to put a game on the list here. So I'm going to talk about it here as we talk about Kohaku. Kohaku is a tile-laying game. Absolutely gorgeous. The most beautiful tiles I've seen on a board game. I'll put them up here. This does not do it justice. I will tell you that right now. You need to see these in real life, folks. These are like acrylic tiles, and they're almost got this like 3D feel to them, where you can see the fish like floating above, like the flowers and the rocks and stuff. Oh, it's gorgeous. Tile laying set collection, two mechanisms that we always enjoy, and you play it's really. Let me see. And another thing, this is like the standard edition. This is not like a deluxe Kickstarter. This is what you get in the box. That's a playmat, friends. Playmat with acrylic tiles. On your turn, you take two items. A fish, right here, and then a feature, such as this frog and a lily pad, or these lotus flowers, or whatever. And then you're going to move the center ones out to fill out the outer spots, and then you redraw. New tiles here. Oh, it's so good. It's easy to learn, but there's tons of strategy. because you're trying to figure out which ones you want to collect, and you're sort of keeping. Well, you can play it sort of like for multiplayer solo, but I always sort of look out for, oh, does this player need that? I may hate draft if it helps me out, that type of thing. But it's really, I shouldn't say hate draft or deny draft, because it's really at its heart, it's a very peaceful game in keeping with the theme. You're just building up your little pond, filling it with koi and statues or lotus and stuff. It is beautiful. Wait, bottom shelf, really? Oh my gosh, did you really? Oh, I'm sorry. It says I've been bottom shelf has been vaccinated for a while and just got COVID. Friends, be careful out there, as he said. Oh my gosh, I so sorry to hear about that, man. Hope you're doing well. I know bottom shelf video games in real life, so if you need to, man, message me, DM me, and if you need anything, just let me know. So sorry to hear about that. Hope you feel better soon, man. James says you have to pay the Kohaku tax of unwrapping all the acrylic. Yeah, so there are, you do have to. There's got that nice. It's got plastic to protect them during shipping, so you do have to take all those off the pieces before you play. But yeah, it's totally worth it. It's so gorgeous, such a beautiful. Yeah, the flies are floating. Yes, the flies float there. The dragonflies. Oh, such a great game. This one is definitely a keeper in our collection. So we played that with Daryl and Abby. They had I remember we had, was that the time Abby, she's a wonderful cook and made just this really nice dinner. I think we had, what was it? Not menudo, the pozole. She made a really nice pozole that night, and we played Kohaku. And the game that I did not have on the list here, I forgot to include it, was, we're doing it real time, Trails from Keymaster Games. We also brought this over, a wonderful, so hey, that's your bonus. So not 27, but actually 28 games, folks, that we played. Trails, this is a new game based on Parks. That's the Big Brother game, I guess. I almost want to say it's like a rondelle, but not, because because you go one or two spaces and you stop on that and you take that action and you're trying to collect sets of resources. So it's like resource management, because you're turning them for badges, which can be set collection or it can just be straight up victory points. But you go, I'm like pointing, but y'all, let me do this. You go from this part of the trail this way, one or two spaces. Then when you get to this trailhead, or no, the trail end, you're going to go backwards, and then this sun follows you one spot, and then the tiles flip over to give different actions. Yeah, a rondelle, but not crystal clear, right, Slivers? Like, it's very rondelle-like, because instead of a circle, you're just going back and forth in this line, which I thought was really cool. And this is a game that I actually bought at Target. It's $20, totally worth it. Really nice components, wooden bits. You got a little bear you can't really see here, acorns and so forth. Fun game, light, 20 minutes, but just the perfect filler. That's Trails from Keymaster Games. Let me sip some more water here. Oh, okay. Bottom shelf is doing okay. Vaccination still lessens disease, so I can't imagine if I didn't get the vaccination. Yeah, get your shots, folks. I'm glad you're okay. Bottom shelf. Thank you for sharing. Risa says, can't find Trails anywhere. Oh, it's been sold out on my Target for a while. Oh no, that is okay. So yeah, that is a thing. So when I got it, gosh, I was like, I jumped right on it. I was waiting for it to come out at Target, and I got it. And the next day, yeah, they were all sold out. So I don't know how the restocking is going, but keep an eye out for it, folks. Okay, yeah. Vault says looks like it's in stock on the Target website, so you can order it now. So that's your bonus, folks. Oops, this isn't Kohaku. I guess I should take that out. This was here. I'll create a banner on the fly. This was Trails. Look at that on the fly. There it is. Trails from Keymaster Games. The art. Who's the artist? 59. Oh, it's from the 59 Parks print series. So there's a bunch of artists that have done these prints for the national parks, and there's like information on the parks too. I love that. And as we are, getting into post-pandemic, I shouldn't say post-pandemic. We're this with the Delta variant and stuff. As we're able to go out in the real world now. Go visit your national parks, folks. Hey, I think Bruno's trying to come in here. Bruno, you want to come in? Give me just a second. I'm going to let y'all look at my shelf of games while I let Bruno in. Hey, Bruno. You want to say hi to everyone? Bruno, you want to say hi? Come on, buddy. No? Bruno, he's in the studio now, but he just wants to sit down next to me. Okay, good boy. He doesn't want to come up yet. Let's see. Yeah, show some love. Thank you for the dropping those emotes, friends, for Bruno. Appreciate it. Thanks for being a Bruno fan. And Bruno, he's taken off. He just wants to say hello. Hi, AJ Gamer. Thanks for stopping by. We are talking about the games we played in July. So the next one, we just did a bonus, Trails, because I forgot to put on the list. Let me see. What was the next one on the list here? We did Kohaku. Oh, Marrakech. This was a game that, I'm trying to put my thoughts here. I'm thinking about how do I put this? It was on my radar for many years. I'd heard good things, wasn't really too sure about it. Couldn't find it online. I was trying to buy it and couldn't find it. I did find a couple of copies, but they were like skyrocketed. Prices were just being gouged. Then I went to Meepleville Cafe in Vegas many years ago, and I saw it there. But I also saw their sales shelf, and I bought games on the sales shelf, and at that time, my budget was spent. I could not buy Marrakech. Flash forward to just this last, when was it? Earlier this summer, I believe. My friend Daryl B Gaming, was in Vegas, and I texted him. I was like, yo, if you happen to go to Meepleville, which I knew he was going to, if you happen to see Marrakech, pick up a copy. I'll Venmo the money. And sure enough, he did. So thanks to Daryl for giving me the copy of this game. This is a roll and move. Oh, look at this cute picture. Excuse me. I got a dog. It's a roll and move game. You roll the die, move the customer, then you lay down your carpet. They're actually little felt carpets. They're so cool. And if you land on someone else's carpet, you're going to pay them money depending on how far their carpets run. So, for example, this yellow, if you land on this yellow, you owe that person, the yellow player, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks like 5. Pay them $5. Then at the end of the game, after all the carpets are laid down, everyone gets money according to what's shown on the board. So in this case, yellow would get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know what I mean? All that, you just count up yellow and get the money. Most money wins. For a roll and move game, fantastic. So surprising how much I love this game. And I'm glad that Daryl picked up a copy. I just think it's such a fun, easy game to bring to the table. Setup is super. You just put the board out and give everyone carpets, and you roll the die, and you're off and running. Yes, such a happy, friendly game. It is, and it's sort of mean too. It's yeah. Thank you for the wink, Ben. I was surprised how mean it was. I mean, it's you're making people pay you money. They land on your spot, like pay me that money. It's a friendly meanness. Is that a thing? Can we be friendly mean in a game? Really enjoyed it. I think this is the colors look off on that one. Maybe that's an older version. Yeah, some of these colors look. Oh, that looks like that doesn't look like anything. And I just like the fact that they added those little felt carpets. They could have easily just used cardboard tiles. I'm glad they didn't. This is a nice little component. Oh, there. Okay, that's what it really looks like. So Marrakech, that is a terrific family level game, but with gamers, totally can be used as a filler, maybe 20, 25 minutes or so. And that is Marrakech. You can find it online. I know it's online now It's a little more readily available. So you can check that out. Let's move on to the next game that I played this month. I played this with my friend Daryl, who got me Marrakech. But this is Unmatched Deadpool. This, excuse me, Unmatched Deadpool is the latest and greatest in the Unmatched series. If you don't know Unmatched, this is a oh gosh, excuse me. Unmatched, a 2-player, but it can be play up to 4. Skirmish game. You are on a battlefield. You got your minis. You're fighting each other. It's the last person standing, basically. Deadpool, absolutely loved because it was so true to the character. And I don't want to spoil too many things, but I mean, just look at the box. It's very meta. It's very, very much in keeping with the theme of Deadpool, right? What? I don't get an unmatched set? Come on, Marvel. Fine. As I say, if you want something done, do it with maximum effort. So there's a lot of, excuse me, a lot of Deadpool references. I mean, look at this. It looks like he, the character drew it himself. And there are cards that I don't want to spoil too many. I'll show. Okay, here's a few. Like all the cards, they look different. Every single card looks different. And there are, this one says "Eat Me." This one says "Chimichanga Break." And then as you can see, it's so funny. Like they literally look like they hand drew it. But it fits perfectly into the universe of Deadpool, and with Unmatched, it's a lot of fun. I think I played once as Deadpool. Daryl played once as Deadpool. We both lost as Deadpool we played against the Raptors in Jurassic Park. So I don't know if Deadpool was just underpowered with me and we weren't playing him correctly, but it was so much fun. By far the funniest Unmatched set I've ever played. And this is excuse me. Gosh, I got a frog in my throat. This was so much. It was just so much fun to like read the text, all the flavor text. It was just perfect. Those Raptors are strong. Wasn't Little Red in one of those games? Did we play Little Red too? I don't remember. Oh yeah. Little Red was maybe we played Little Red versus Deadpool. I want to shout out William Wolf. Thank you, William Wolf, for yes. William Wolf over at Meepleville, and Daryl took a picture of this. They have a giant play version of Marrakech, and he does teach it quite a bit. Daryl saw it, and he took a picture. I was like, oh my gosh, like the figure is like this big, the die is a big block of wood. I mean, those carpets are like huge. So one of these days, I want to make it out to Meepleville in Vegas. Speaking of, if y'all didn't see the announcement, Dice Tower West next year, March 2nd through 5th. Or 6 at the Rio in Vegas. So that's I will be there for sure, folks. I hope to see some of y'all out there too. Let's play some games. So that's Unmatched Deadpool. And let's go on to the next game that I played this month. So I mentioned going to Nashville, Tennessee for the first time in my life. Went there in the middle of the month to do some videos for Mythic Games. And one of the games that I played there on set, we got to play Tricky Tides. I was excited to join the Mythic Mischief crew, the IV Games, because not only were we playing their game, but they also gave us an opportunity to play a game of our choosing. So I chose Tricky Tides. This is another trick-taking game that's unique. And I don't know if Tail Wagging, if you're still here, if you've never played Tricky Tides, if you're a trick-taking fan, highly recommend it. This one combines, let me get a picture of the game, trick-taking with pick up and deliver. I've never seen this in another game where you play tricks in order to move your ships to pick up goods and to deliver them to fulfill contracts. There are also in the advanced variant, which we played, spoiler alert, we played this on the video that we'll be releasing. I played this with Monique was it Monique? No, I didn't. I'm sorry. I didn't play with, it was actually Naveen. I played with Naveen, Jeremy Howard, and Austin Harrison from Mythic Games. We played this game. The advanced variant includes the monsters, which do cool things like they can add cubes to certain or resources to each island, or they can take them away or move them. It's really neat. I love Tricky Tides. This one sort of flew under the radar, I believe. I want to shout out my friend Jeff for teaching me this at a con a couple of years ago. It's got a 7.0. I gave it a 7.5. I might even give it an 8. I don't know, as ranking wise. Wonderful combination of trick taking and pick up and deliver. Those Raptors are on the Brothers Murph. Oh yeah, the Brothers Murph folks. If you don't know, they have a Kickstarter going for a little while longer. They have their own Unmatched set. So Nick and Mike are actually going to be Unmatched. So check that out. Tailwagons says, this sounds awesome. Yes. Wish list for games is growing a lot watching this. Yeah. And that's that. I do the same thing whenever I watch someone do their, list of games they played or top 10 lists. Like all of a sudden I've got my wish list, going crazy. But wonderful game. Plays 30 to 45 minutes. I feel like it's totally underrated. Check it out. That's from Gold Seal Games. Tricky Tides. Let's look at what was next. Another game that I played while I was out there so we played Tricky Tides, And we also played Stay Cool. This party game from Yellow plays 3 to 7 players. This game cracked me up. It was funny and fun. You're asking players, it's sort of hectic though. It's a real-time game. And the way we played it, I think we started with the round 2. So round 1, it's like it ramps up. First round, you're trying to answer trivia questions. And they're not hard trivia questions. Let me see if there's an example here. So here's one. How many vowels are in the word consonant? Okay, so you can think O, O, A. So there's 3 vowels in the word consonant, right? But you have a timer. You have to quickly answer. And the unique thing, so the first player's questions you answer. There's another player asking questions at the same time. You don't talk over each other, but it happens at the same time. You have dice, and you have to spell out the answer. And then you have to watch the sand timer and flip it over. If you run out of time, your round is over. So hectic, but fun. I mean, if you don't like real-time games, I don't think you'll like this. But if you do, it's hilarious. We had so much fun playing this. Yes, Slivers, please do drop the link in chat for the Brothers Murph Kickstarter. I would appreciate that. Deadpan played this last weekend too. Awesome. Wannabe Kiwi almost back Tricky Ties. It looks great. I would highly, if you can track down a copy, highly recommend that. Thank you, Slivers. There's the link in chat, folks, for the Brothers Murph Kickstarter. Please back them. Nick and Mike do so much for the community, and they're also just awesome people. I've backed it. I'm sure other people have backed it here. If you haven't, check it out. If you can afford to, if you're in a spot to do so, please do so. And so we talk about Stay Cool. This one Monique taught. I got to play with Monique and Naveen, Jeremy Howard, Austin, Harrison. It was hilarious. We had so much fun. It's just such a funny game. So check that one out. That is Stay Cool. So just wrapping up my Nashville trip, what we were out there to play was Mythic Mischief. This is going to be out on Kickstarter, I believe, either end of this month or start of September. Whoops. No image available. There are images available. Here's the box here. This is the company. They are a rising star. Now, full disclosure, of course, I have partnered with them in the past. They've paid me to work on, do content for the games. They brought me and a bunch of other creators out there. So take my word with a grain of salt. But I think this game is going to be another big hit for them. It is, at its heart, it's an abstract game where you're moving on the board, but there are abilities. Each character has different abilities. So it really takes it out of that abstract part where you're just moving things. So you're trying to, it's got a super cute theme. You and your fellow players are kids in a library, but it's a mythic library, so it's got a lot of fantasy elements to it, and you're trying to stay away from the tome keeper, the librarian, because as a library, as kids, you're trying to be quiet, but you're going to use. You can see the monsters here have different abilities. I think I played as, was I the monsters? There's vampires. There's all kinds of great characters, all with different abilities. And here you can see part of the board here. You're trying to move the tome keeper in a way where they attack or get your opponents, right? It's not really attacking. It's like, think of the tome keeper as the librarians going, shh. So you've been busted, right? So you're trying to it's a race to 10 points. It's really clever and so much more than I thought it was. When I went through the little practice playthrough on TTS before I flew out there, I was like, ooh, this game's going to be good. I just thought it was going to be like, you just shift around your characters, trying to get points, whatever. No, when I got to the real thing, the real table actually playing it, oh, so good. They have released 3 games. This will be the 3rd game they released. They released Runerakers, which got a lot of acclaim. They just did Veiled Fate, which I played with. Actually, I partnered with Becca Scott. Becca and I were one team. We played against Edward and Jess of Heavy Board Games. We played against Mark Street of the Dice Tower, and then also Austin of Mythic Game. Ivy Games. They raised over $1 million for that Kickstarter, and it was that game, just the production quality and everything. Oh, gorgeous. And same with Moonrakers, big, like excellent production. These guys, or this team over at Ivy Games, they're doing things right. Zach, Austin, and Max were the designers. Really cool guys. I think they get what it takes. I really do believe that they know what's happening as far as game design is happening. So, anyways, that is a Mythic Mischief coming up to in Kickstarter real soon. Highly recommend. Let me move on to the next game I played. So that was what I played in Nashville. But I did technically play another game in Nashville, Herbaceous Pocket Edition. Beautiful, best level art, designed by, I think it was, let me pull up the screen here. Designer Steve Finn, Eduardo Baraf from Pencil First Games. Herbaceous, this is Herbaceous. I don't know if they have a page for the Pocket Edition. The Pocket Edition is the same game, just instead of card-sized cards, like playing card-sized cards, you have Ticket to Ride-sized cards, and with less text. Totally, it's the same game. It's beautiful. I've actually played this, I actually played this with Michelle at the hotel when we were in Nashville. But the story I wanted to share was on the flight home. I believe so we went to Dallas first. From Dallas back to Ontario. Michelle and I, we weren't sitting next to each other. We weren't sitting next. She was like a couple of rows behind me. I sat next to a young kid, a young gentleman named Tyler. He was just starting college, and he was asking me what I was doing in Nashville, which I told him, which led to a big long conversation about board games. And I said, of course, hey, you want to play a board game? I have one right here, Herbaceous Pocket Edition. He was so excited to play it. He'd played like Risk and I think Uno were the games he talked about. I played Herbaceous. He loved it as much as I love it. And we played 3 times on the flight. Quick games, but at the end I said, Tyler, my friend, I hope you do well in school. Go do great things. This copy of Herbaceous is yours. Go check out board games. And I gave him my copy. And I love being a board game evangelist, folks. And just seeing his face light up and knowing that hopefully he's going to continue to play games, I would be like just thrilled to know that we have created a new gamer in the house. We've got a raid coming in. Thank you, Matthew Jude, for the raid. Friends, let's welcome our friends from my friends and your friends and everyone's friends. Thank you for the raid, Matthew. I'm going to put on the raid helmet just for you, friend. Much appreciated. My name is Ruel Gaviola, not Herbaceous Pocket Edition. What we're doing today is we are doing my July monthly gaming wrap-up. I'm just talking about the games that I played last month, and we're sharing games that people also played here. Matthew, let me know what you're up to. I hope your stream went well, friend. Good to see you on here. James, thank you for welcoming friends. And excuse me, is it Reality 59? Thank you for dropping in. Good to see everyone here. I'm just talking games right now. I will be back later tonight with my friend Daryl. We're going to play a game, which we'll announce later. But thank you for the raid, Matthew. Much appreciated. Let's get back to the July monthly gaming wrap up. I'm going to be talking about, so we just talked about Herbaceous. What else did I play this month? I also played Watergate, folks, so good. One of the top 5. Yeah, did it make it to my top 5? I think it did make it to my top 5 2-player games of all time. It is ranked, or it is got an 8 rating. I have not rated it. This one I should wait. I should rate this with. So the last time I played it was with Michelle. We played for Gen Con's charity stream. I also played with Shay Parker this month over at Shay's. We did a playthrough for Rado Runs Through. You can check that on YouTube. Do I give this a 10? It's either a 9 or 10 for me. I love this game. I'll play it at any time. It's a hand management game. Multiple tug of wars going on. So thematic. One player is Nixon, the Nixon administration. The other is playing a journalist trying to take that administration down. Oh, it's so good. I can't even talk about this. Just go play it, folks. It's so good. 2-player game that reminds me, we talked about this a little with Shay, reminds us a little bit of Twilight Struggle, where it's card-based. You're going to play your cards. If you use it for the value to move some tokens up or down on this track, the evidence board, you will keep that card. However, you can play cards for the events. There's one. Oh no, that's not it. These are the cards here. You can play different events. Certain events, you'll take that card out. So just like Twilight Struggle, you'll lose that card for the rest of the game, but it's pretty powerful. So it's that really tense, like, oh, do I use this now for its power, but I'm going to lose out on it later in the game. So, oh, so good. Sliver says, I wish this game had even an ounce of appeal to me. Alas, it doesn't. Maybe Ruel, Gaviol, or someone will talk me into playing a con. Slivers, I would love to talk you into playing this. I don't know. Maybe is it the history, or is it just maybe it looks a little bland? I think so. The history part is really neat. They do tie in really specific events and people that took down and or were involved during this whole thing with Nixon, and the gameplay is outstanding. You play one card. Here's an example. You play one of those cards either for the value to move tokens towards your side because you want that momentum on your side and you want to pin the evidence to the evidence board to link Nixon to the informants. But as Nixon's administration, you want to take that evidence, flip it over to block. So, oh, it's so good. I can't even talk about it. Folks, yeah, history and the look aren't just, that's totally fair. It may not be for you, Slivers. I would like to I would love to have you try it. And if we can meet up at a con sometime, yes. But I will play this game at any time. That's Watergate, folks. Highly, highly, highly recommend. The next game I played is Embarcadero. Oops, I forgot to do this part. Embarcadero. From Renegade Games. Played it for the first time with Daryl on stream. Embarcadero from Adam Buckingham, Ed Marriott. These gentlemen were the geniuses behind Scoville, a very fun pepper planting game. But this one is a hand management / set collection / area majority. So good. I feel like, I did preface this by saying that the games I played this month, I mean, these were games that are probably in my wheelhouse and I really like, and this is one of them. This, I need to play it more players. I feel like this will be better, just like most area control games that have that play 2 players. I think it'll get better with 3 or 4 players. It's based on the history of San Francisco, the waterfront, how they built up the Embarcadero. People would leave their ships there, and then eventually business people, entrepreneurs would build buildings and go for that. Yeah, it's really good. Daryl and I were surprised. I need to play it again because I feel like after a second play I can talk about it a little more in depth. It's got action selection. What I like about it is every card that you play, you're gonna play it either as a tableau, and it's got this sort of 7 Wonder-ish resource engine building. You're going to get these resources in future turns, but each turn you're going to have to buy a card in your hand, and then each turn you're going to have to put one down here. You're going to save it or store it for the next turn, for the next round. So that's a really interesting dynamic where you're playing cards for its goods, trying to get cards into your tableau, and that'll help you build up the waterfront. But you're also trying to find cards for later in the game that you can use. Like these here are going to cost you more resources. So you do want to build up your engine so you can afford those for later turns. Really neat way to plan around. So that's Embarcadero from Renegade Game Studios. Hey, Phantom Meeple's in the house. Hi, thanks for lurking. Appreciate it, Phantom Meeple. Just talking about games that I played last month. We're nearing the end here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more games, folks. Or actually 4 more games. Oh man, I'm starting to feel it. I'm to take a day off and then go jump right back into an hour and a half stream. Woo! What was I thinking? But I love it. I love it. Next game I played, an all-time favorite. This one I actually ranked perfect 10 because this game I will play anytime. It is Strike from Ravensburger. It's a dexterity dice chucking game. It's a blast. It's silly fun. Yeah, look, it's 6.0 on BGD. I rated a top perfect 10 because I will play the same time. Played this most recently 2 different times. For the Gen Con charity stream, Michelle and I played it. Michelle, Lauren, and I are huge fans of this. But we also played at a party. I talked about going to our friend's birthday party recently. And one of the games, we always give them a game for their birthday. It was Strike. And we also gave them other stuff. But I told our friend, hey, you may, she had asked, Ruel, what games did you bring? Because I always bring games. I have my bag. I was like, well, I have these games, but you may want to open that present because I think it would be. She opened it. We played it. They loved it. Right off the bat, there was another family there. They didn't stop playing it. Michelle and I, by the time we left, they were still playing it. So that was that warmed my heart. As a board game evangelist, always nice to see people enjoying their games. So Vault Hunger, yeah, it was hour and a half so far. No, I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to wrap this up really, really soon. Yeah. Shirt. Are we talking about the shirt? Yeah. I am rocking. I'm representing the 5x today. I don't know if y'all can see it. Yeah, the 5x podcast. Do we have a new episode coming out tomorrow, John? I'm not sure if it's coming out tomorrow, if it's the next week. I always lose track of these things. But yeah, not sure. I figured as much, John. Thanks. 5x is a great podcast. I'm very honored to be part of it. John, Book of Nerds, is on as well. We do 5 different reviews, 5 minutes each, by 5 different reviewers each month. Tomorrow there will be a episode dropping. So Strike, folks, if you haven't played it, please pick it up. You can find it at Target these days. I think it's like $20, worth every stinking penny. Okay, woo! Can you tell I'm getting a little pooped? But I'm going to continue. So Strike, I talked about the Gen Con charity stream we did. We also played ShipShape. ShipShape from Rob Davio, hugely, criminally underrated. Not sure why this didn't take off the way I thought it would. It is a wonderful game. Did it win? I believe it was one of our winners for American Tabletop Awards in 2019. It should have won a bunch of awards. I don't know why it didn't take off. Maybe people were just, I don't know if it was a theme, but it's pirates. It's got a combination of bidding and like an abstract puzzle. You're bidding on little crates to place in your holds, and these go on top, and you're covering up the rats and collecting 3 different sets of things. So you've got contraband, got cannons, and you've got gold, and they each score differently at the end of the game. It's so quick. It plays in 20. I've never played a game. I played it 2 players. I've played it every player count, 2, 3, 4. Have I played it 5? Maybe not 5. 2, 3, 4, and 6 for sure. No game has went longer than 25 minutes. Seriously. It says 24 to 40 minutes. Never. It's super quick. You draft 3. You're going to take 3 tiles per turn, score them, and then or per round, score them, then do another round, 3 tiles, score those, and then the final one. Most coins wins. It's a beautiful, wonderful, streamlined game of bidding. You're going to bid with cards, and then abstract tile lane. Even though it's not abstract, it's got a theme to it. The theme, but oh gosh, I don't know why I don't play this game more. It's so good. Risa Roney. Risa is from Calliope. They say it went out of stock quickly, so that might have been part of the problem. Sold out quick too, and then took. Yeah, I think that might have been it. It just sells out too quickly, and that's the It's just such a wonderful game. I like it at all player counts. It's better with more, obviously, but folks, if hey AJ, one of my first games in the hobby, awesome. That's fantastic. I love it. Yeah, if you can track it down, if you have not played it yet or you don't have a copy, track it down, friends. What do I have? I have it in 8. Now, you know what? After this last play, I'm gonna update my ranking. It's an 8.5 for sure. 8.5 for sure. It might even be a 9 or 10. James says bought a copy at Barnes & Noble when it was marked down. Need to play. Yeah, definitely play it, James. It plays well at all player counts, in my opinion. So that's ShipShape, folks. Awesome, awesome game. We've got a couple more to talk about. These are the games I played in July. The next one was a game that we just streamed this last weekend for TLN, Aquatica from Arcane Wonders. Aquatica is a 30 to 60 minute game for 1 or 4 players. I've only played with 2. Michelle and I played it. Insta love for this game. Now, as much as I loved it, there are some issues I think with the rule book. It's a little. We sort of clunked through a few of the things. I don't know why. Maybe it just wasn't clear in my brain certain things on each turn. But it's a card drafting game. You are building your cards up. It's drafting, pool building, hand management for sure. The really unique thing about this game is your cards, your locations that you're trying to do. You're adding your locations to your underwater kingdom. As you can tell, the art is just phenomenal. Just Gorgeous game. And this is like the engine building slash hand management part. Each turn, you're going to be able to use these things, not the victory points. The victory points you only get if you score them. You have to take a certain action with a card to take it out and score it outside of your little underwater kingdom here. But you can get like power to conquer stuff, coins to buy locations. Ooh, it's so neat and so beautiful. And it's so much more. Let me see what the rating is, the heaviness. Okay, 2.25. Yeah. Like the gameplay itself is very light, but the strategy and the tactical decisions you make much more than I feel like it could be a little heavier than this, complexity wise. But oh, we love this game. Brothers Murphs in the house. Yes, thank you for joining us. I really dug Aquatica. Yeah, same here. Book of Nerds says Aquatica is great. First time I played it, I seemed to ramp up the end game super fast. Yeah, it's like it's that nice, really nice feeling of you're building your engine. You're just starting to use it. There's like, oh, it's all over. I know Michelle was sort of caught off guard by that because I sort of rushed the ending, I think, during our game. But so good. Can't wait to play it again. That is Aquatica. Friends, thank you again. We're getting near the end of this here. Actually, we are going to be at the end of this because this is the final game of the 20. No, not 27. I realized 28 games that I played in July. I'm going to do a quick wrap up, quick look back at what I played for the July monthly wrap up. Played Cubitos, played Terraforming Mars Aerospace Expedition, played a bunch of Reiner Knizia's Decathlon for the TLN Olympics. Blank Slate, great party game. Ingenious, the good Dr. Knizia. We played Decathlon. Oh, it was a big Knizia month. So Decathlon, Ingenious, Abstract Tile Lane, Lost Cities, Knizia's classic two-player card game. Also played Red Rising. I feel like it's been getting it's been bashed unfairly, in my opinion. Four Gardens, fantastic set collection game. Inkling, a abstract / word game, which was funky, but I would play it again. Wicked and Wise, we played a prototype. I want to play it again. This is a trick-taking game. I need to play it again because I feel like our first learning game is a little rough. Dokojong, oh, super cute. I got to put it back up here. This game, it has a pug in it. So, I'm going to shout out my pug Bruno. There's Dokojong, deduction game where you're trying to find each player's doggos in their hand. Everyone has dogs in their hands that you're trying to find. So that one was an Oink game, a lot of fun. Also played Inner Grove. That's another Oink game, that deduction game. Also played Crash Octopus, a dexterity game that was a lot of fun, a lot very family friendly, where you're in an ocean, tossing stuff, trying to get stuff onto your boat. Push Your Luck game. Michelle and I are fans of it. Card-based game. Kohaku, oh, so beautiful. Just an absolutely beautiful tile lane game. One of the best productions I've ever seen in a board game. Marrakech, an older but still relevant and still good, great roll your move game. Not roll your move, roll and move game. And can you believe that? Like, I love the fact that you can take a mechanism that most hardcore gamers aren't into, like roll and move, and make it in something that's a lot of fun. We also played Unmatched Deadpool. Love Unmatched Deadpool. It's so thematic. If you like Deadpool, get it. Tricky Tides, a wonderful mix of trick-taking and pick up and deliver. Very unique. Never seen any other game do it. Highly underrated, and I recommend it. Stay Cool is a fun party game from Yellow. Played this one with Monique and Naveen and Jeremy Howard, Austin Harrison from IB Games. Stay Cool is a real-time, frantic, sort of trivia game. A lot of fun. Mythic Mischief, this is the one that I went out to Nashville to play, coming out to Kickstarter soon. I hesitate to call it an abstract game. I mean, it has abstract elements, but it's asymmetric powers, player powers, really cute, very fantasy friendly, like family friendly fantasy game. Kids in a library trying to get the librarian to bust the other kids. Really cute. I think they're gonna knock it out of the park again. Also play Herbaceous Pocket Edition, the smaller edition of Herbaceous. A wonderful set collection, beautiful art by Beth Sobel. As the story I shared, I actually gave my copy away on the plane home from Nashville. I met a young kid who was going to college, never played any modern board games. I played this with them 3 times on the plane and then gave them my copy because I'm a board game evangelist. I hope you all are too. Also played Watergate. Seriously, top 5 2-player game of all time for me. It may be creeping into the top 3. I mean, it's I didn't rank it. It's probably gonna be a 10. Did I rank it? I don't think I ranked it. It's got to be like a 9 or a 10 for me. But just awesome game. Also played Embarcadero. This is a newer game from Renegade Games. It was recently just released. This is a worker placement or action selection game with area majority. It's got tableau building, really unique from the makers of Scoville. Also played Strike. Perfect 10. It's always good. Dice chucker, little dexterity. Last person standing with a dice wins. ShipShape, I just raved about this. Highly underrated game, underappreciated game from Rob Davio. Y'all should check it out if you haven't. It is, as Risa was saying from Calliope Games, it's been in and out of print lately. I believe it is now in print, but track it down if you can. Aquatica, we just talked about. Awesome game from Arcane Wonders. We're down to the final game here, folks. The last game that I played in July was Sherlock 13 from Arcane Wonders. I'm not a deduction fan, but if I'm going to play a deduction game, this is it. It's 15 minutes. It's like a simpler version of Clue. Not a simpler version. It's a faster version of Clue with a really neat. Let me pull this up here. Oh no, that's not it. I don't know what that is. That might have been like an old version or a fan made. Here it is. You have 13 cards. One of them is guilty, and you're going to use your powers of deduction to find out who did it. And this is you can see the sheet here. Each card has different icons, and those icons are going to tell you who committed the crime. And through your powers of deduction, you ask the other players, do you have this on your cards? Or in the 2-player version, you can swap out cards. Really clever way to do it. And I, even though I am a non-deduction fan, this one I like because it's quick and easy. And I still, Michelle and I were cracking up when we played it. We're like, we're horrible at these games. We're just bad. And like both times, I think we played it 3 times. Michelle guessed twice. She was incorrect. I guessed once and I was incorrect. So I need to be more patient with myself, I believe, or I just need more help when I'm doing. Oh, there's a reminder. I got a meeting coming up. I need more help when it comes to these games, obviously, because I am terrible at them. But those are the games that I played this month, friends. 27, not 27. We learned it was 28. Great month of gaming. I want to thank you all for hanging out with me. Let me catch up the chat here. Got the Brothers Murph in the house. Check out their Kickstarter, folks. They've crushed it. Last I checked, there were like 26,000. Amazing. I personally, I knew they were going to blow out the 10,000 starter, but for them to double and nearly triple it, so happy for them. They absolutely deserve it. Let me catch up on chat here. The Brothers Murphy are moving. Vault says, I'm looking to get rid of some board games. I'd like to give them away, but have no idea how to do that when I don't know anyone that really plays a lot of board games. Yeah, Vault, that's a great question. How do you do that? Where do you give away games? I would suggest perhaps your local library might be a place to go. If not, yeah, go to a coffee house. Maybe drop a game off there that you think people could learn how to play at a coffee house or something. But yeah, Tailwagon, thanks for sharing all that. Thank you. Appreciate that, Tailwagon. Atticus, thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you, Toro. Yeah, I want to be keeping also thinking of the library. That'll be it for me today, folks. I am done. We've talked about a lot of great games. Please come back, join me tonight. Daryl and I are going to play a game, and then I'll be back tomorrow on the Rado Runs Through channel. We're going to be doing R&R, the second episode. It's a weekly show where we talk about games. So if you like hanging out with me here, you're going to like even more hanging out with Rado and myself tomorrow. There is the Kickstarter. Please check out the Brothers Murph. Please support them. They are wonderful human beings and absolutely deserve everything that they've earned so far. What am I going to do? I am going to raid. I want to thank Atticus for cheering. Thank you for the cheer, Atticus. One final appearance, or actually this is the first one that Benny the Bit Spare has shown up. Thank you, Atticus, for showing the love through your spending of bits. My name is Benny, and anytime you spend bits, I show up. But I need to go back to hibernation and get ready for another show tonight. Thank you, friends. Corthane, it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed hanging out with Richard yesterday. Who is streaming right now? 10? Oh, okay, yeah, let's let me go over there. Let me go to the official is it is it 10? Is it Tantalores? I can't find them. Okay, there's Tantalores. We're gonna raid Tantalores, friends. Stick around for the raid. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate y'all. Have a great day, afternoon, evening, wherever you may be. And then I'll be back later, 7 p.m. Pacific tonight. Until then, stick around for the raid. Take care. Bye now.